Well, what do we have here? Looks like a twofer, a Target twofer to be exact, as these are Target exclusives, and seeing as they are currently undertaking an X-Men theme for their exclusives, this time we are presented with Storm and Wolverine, or rather Weapon X, which is the version of Logan before he actually became Wolverine. In fact, it's this version that led to him becoming Wolverine. So we are going to take a look at these two, because it is a Target twofer. We'll talk about it on the other side. Well, it looks like we've got a couple of nice figures here, retro card style. And Storm has, she basically, I don't know if I should say she dominates when it comes to X-Men in the retro card. But she definitely, she was in the very first X-Men line of vintage. In fact, back then we were going back and forth on whether or not to call it vintage or retro, and so it's basically both, so it didn't matter. Then she came out in a black costume, and then she came out in a white costume. Once again, that was on retro, and here we have her again. Of course, we've gotten her in waves. You know, like Build-A-Figure waves and what have you. But she's definitely had her fair share of retro figures. As far as Logan here, as Weapon X, we've seen Weapon X before in the Hasbro era of Marvel Legends in the Caliban wave. And it was... you know, I mean, it was a good figure. It was long sought after, because we did have a Weapon X in the Toy Biz days, but of course you know how that goes in terms of, you know, it's not a good look mixing and matching Toy Biz, which were bomb for their time, but this is what we've got now, and like I said, they look pretty nice. Storm's accessories come in the form of 2 additional sets of hands. First set, we've got some fisted hands, and our second set is very interesting. We get these lightning projecting hands. The lightning effects are they're coming off of her fingertips, and they start off a translucent, they're supposed to be translucent period, but there's a very slight bluish hue to them, and then it melts into a fully bluish hue, as you can see. Wolverine, Weapon X also comes with 2 additional sets of hands. We've got a left fist and a right grasping hand, and secondarily we have something that I think is a first for Marvel Legends, and that's we get another set of clawed hands, but these are graspers, and I can surmise what these are for, because this is Weapon X, and shortly after he was bonded with the adamantium, he was in great pain, so these are probably, we were given these to express that pain. And finally we get an additional head sculpt, which you see right here, and it came with these units here. This is exactly how it was in the packaging, so I'm assuming that they came off, and that's probably what these marks are for, that they basically were ripped off. I kind of sort of wanted to believe they were impact marks from getting shot in the head, but of course they, you know, like the 2 over his right eye look like they're healing up, and the one over his left eye could possibly be a round that basically just flattened against his head. But I think that they're really to show that these, whatever these are supposed to be, they were attached to his head, and they basically ripped off some kind of way. We'll first take a look here at Storm, and like I said, pretty nice. I tell you, they always seem to give Storm a very beautiful portrait, and this time is no different. She's got the flowing white hair and the pupilless eyes. Definitely, she's powered up with this particular portrait. Very nice in terms of her costume. The rest of her molded in this like off black kind of color. She's got the gold Z stripe going down from right to zigzagging down to her waist, and then we've got the gold for that, and that does continue on to the back. Soft goods cape, and one thing different about this cape, usually her capes are attached to her wrists, not this go round because it's a different costume. She also has, you know, the puffy shoulder pads going on right there. So there really isn't too much more. She's got some beautiful gold earrings. So you got that. And, you know, the hair is going to make her head kind of heavy. So it is what it is. In terms of her articulation, her head is on a dumbbell, and she can look down that far. Very nice. You already know you can scratch the look up, right? Which is unfortunate because she is a flyer. Though most of the time she isn't really flying horizontally when you think about it. You got the rotation there, and she gives you nice attitude because her head really sits high up on that neck. Shoulders, she can get you a T-pose. She can 360 when you get the hair out of the way. And, of course, she doesn't have any butterflies. Her rear back is basically just, you know, parallel with her body. She does have the bicep swivel. She's got the double jointed elbows. Oh, and one thing I did want to mention, speaking about the rear back, in terms of crossbody, with no butterfly joints, she can get you this. That's pretty cool. Now, just looking at that, if I had her electric hands on, I think that would be a cool close-up visual right there. So, yeah. That's pretty cool considering no butterfly joints. Now, in terms, she's got a diaphragm. Now, what we get with the diaphragm, she goes that far forward. Not much, but it's better than what we usually get with the female figures. I got to grant that. She can go back that much. She's being impeded a little bit by that hair. If I move the head out the way, it's basically the same. Of course, you're going to get your left, right there, and you're going to get your side to side there. One thing that's good is that they continued to paint through, so if you do rear her back, it won't be broken up. She can do the splits that far. She can kick that far, which is basically 90. You get almost nothing going back. She's got the thigh cut, double jointed knees, and of course there are no calf swivels. She can point her toe that far forward. Very nice. Up, very nice. She gets you your ankle pivot, and you see that hole. So she's got holes at the bottom of her feet. Here's a comparison with Storm from that aforementioned first or initial X-Men vintage set of figures, and you can see the differences in the costumes. They do have very similar gold trim, even though they're designed differently. Looking at Wolverine, we see that out of packaging he comes with a we'll call it a snarling head sculpt, which is a change from the Caliban Wave version, which came out of packaging with a neutral, or for Weapon X, because he was still like doing the program thing, a programmed robotic type of visage, if you will. But we've got gritting teeth here, so this is definitely supposed to be Logan going wild, basically after he comes out of the bath. We'll call it that. We've got the helmet there that's molded in a gray. We've got the red visor lens there. He's got the locks coming out from the bottom of the helmet. The body itself, of course, molded in a Caucasian if you want to call it pink, but you know, Caucasian type color. We've got buzz fuzz all over the chest and torso area and on the arm, so that's a nice touch. It extends to the legs too, just so you know. He's got a harness that is loose. It goes around his shoulders, and it just crisscrosses there in the back. So you could remove that if you desired. He's got the belt, and you see all the controls, and we've got conduit going into the helmet, one of them, and then we've got another conduit coming out of his left wrist, and that's going into the other control mechanism over here. And there is a third, as you can see right there, and that's going into the left arm. So it's going on, and the mechanisms, the control mechanisms, molded in the gray, and we've got some, I believe these are like decals. That's too fine to be paint. You know what I'm saying? So, and then of course he's got the patas, the feet, and he's got hair on those too. So that's pretty cool in terms of his articulation. You're not going to get anything back because of his mane. He's on a ball hinge type of joint, so you can look down that far. You can 360 him, but I would not advise doing that because then you'll pop that. We don't want that. You're not going to get attitude with Weapon X, not at this particular time. It was just all rage. You can get your T-pose like that. You can 360. Once again, I would not advise it. He's got butterfly joints, so he could rear back, and this is one of the highlights of this figure because look at that. That's a bomb rear back. As far as going across though, I think we will be impeded somewhat. No, actually it's at the very limit of the conduit, but they're not going to get stretched out or popped out. But that's as much as you'll get for crossbody, which is no crossbody at all. It is what it is. You do get the bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. You've got the swiveling wrists that hinge horizontally. All of his hands hinge horizontally. He's got an ab crunch, so he can get you that far forward. He gets you a little bit going back, and you've got a waist swivel hidden underneath his belt there, so you get your 360 going that way. He can do the splits that much, not bad at all. He can kick. He's not being impeded by his equipment there. You get your 90 degrees. A little bit going back, not much. You've got the thigh cut. You have got the double jointed knee. You're not going to get anything at the calf, not with a bare leg like that. He can point his toe that far forward, very nice. That far up, very nice. He's got the ankle pivot and holes at the bottom of his feet. So that's pretty cool right there for our boy Weapon X. Here's the Caliban Wave version of Weapon X. See the differences? The conduits are red as opposed to this purplish blue, and they're basically the same. His belt and his harness are the same. I failed to mention that the harness, the buckles are painted silver, and there are silver buckles on the wrists. Those wrist harnesses there. So I failed to mention that, but I have to give Hasbro their flowers for not cheapening out on the paint when it comes to those. You're looking at the Caliban version is sporting, you probably can't tell from that far away, but he's sporting third-party real metal claws, and I'm going to do the same with our Target exclusive retro version. You are able to pull the conduit that leads from his helmet out. You have to be able to, or else you wouldn't be able to remove the head at all, which I'm going to do now. And then I'm going to put on the other set. I'll put that on those, whatever those are supposed to be, and then I'll pop his head on, and you can see there's a port in that particular side there. So you stick the conduit in that, and that's what you have for an unhelmeted Weapon X. And I was wondering if we could use the head that came, the extra head that came with the Caliban Wave version, because it was, of course, unhelmeted and had him raging. And you see, I've got it on there, but I can't lie to you. The ball is a little bit too big for this head, which of course is for another Wolverine, even though it's the same weapon, it's the same character, Weapon X. But you can get it on there, and it's a little bit more problematic when you want to use that apparatus as well. It fits a little bit better if you take that apparatus off from around his neck. And I believe you could get the head fully on if you heated the head up, so the hole would be a little bit softer, or you could bevel out this head if you would, you're not planning on using it with the Caliban version anymore. And that is our Target twofer, consisting of the X-Men retro cards of Storm and Weapon X. I believe they're both good figures. Storm is it's a good figure. The costume, the soft goods, those lightning effects, that beautiful portrait is what makes her stand out. But other than that, it's same old when it comes to the female Buck. Got to got to keep it real. As far as Weapon X is concerned, definitely some upgrades for Logan here, as opposed to what we got back in the Caliban Wave. Obviously, we're pinless now, and when you got bare skin, that's really nice and streamlined. You gotta love that. We've got a growling visage this time, as far as the helmeted head is concerned. The unhelmeted head, which is just neutral, that baffles me a little bit. But at least we got a second head. It would have been nice for that one to have been growling as well, but it is what it is. We did get an additional set of hands, which you see him sporting right there in the way how I tried to describe at the beginning, with him being in pain soon after emerging from his bath. Pretty good pair of these two. And Target is just forging ahead with their X-Men themed exclusives. We've got a couple more coming around the pike, and I believe they'll be out in about a month, maybe, unless of course you can get yours from overseas, which I don't have that luxury. I don't have those type of connects. It is what it is. Anyway, let me know what you think. You guys are my connection down below. Tell me what you think about these figures, either or, both, whatever. Pass, play, you're going to have it your way. Let me know what you got to say down below. Like, share, subscribe, the whole nine, and get back to me. So until next time, take care. Peace.